A warm good evening to one and all present here. We are here back at the day 4 AICTE ATAL 6 days online faculty development program organized by the Department of Chemical Engineering at Amarjyoti College of Engineering. Yesterday, we had enriching, insightful sections from esteemed speakers. Today, we continue with more thought provoking discussions on climate change and its impact. We have two sessions lined up, and for the first session, on the topic environmental impact assessment, we already have the speaker with us. I kindly welcome Professor Dr. David K. Daniel to welcome and introduce our speaker for the day. Please, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Blasi, for that brief intro about the previous program. But uh, I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah. So it is my, I'm very happy to actually introduce Professor Feroz Sheikh, because we have been working together for uh, quite a number of years in the Sultanate of Oman, and Professor Feroz then moved to Saudi Arabia, and he is currently a faculty member at the. He's not an ordinary faculty member, but I'm just mentioning him as a faculty member at the Prince Mohammed bin Fahd University in Saudi Arabia. Professor Feroz has a doctoral degree in chemical engineering from Andhra University in India, and he has got a postdoctoral research fellowship from Germany, and his MTech is from Osmania University, and BTech from the SV University, along with postgraduate diploma in environmental studies. So, with my association with Professor Feroz, I feel that he's the best person to talk about environmental issues and climate change. Probably, I think we have assigned the topic on environmental impact assessment and climate change. That is what Professor Feroz is going to speak on. He has got extensive expertise in process engineering, designing of plants, quality control, wastewater treatment, solar energy systems, and nano-based technologies in environmental systems. He has about 280 papers published in various journals and conferences, and supervised more than eight PhD research projects. He has also been involved in numerous research projects as a principal investigator, as well as co-investigator, and also served as technology transfer agent for Innovation Research Center in Oman. Dr. Feroz has got received several accolades, including the Best Researcher Award from the Caledonian College of Engineering in 2014. He holds 4 US patents, and he has got a very rich 33 years, 3 decades of more than 3 decades of experience in teaching, research, and industry. Additionally, he serves also as an editorial member for various reputed journals. I think we are fortunate to have Professor Feroz as the speaker for this session, and I would request all of you to keenly listen to this 1.5 hours of talk what Professor is going to deliver to us, and I think it will be very fruitful for all of us who are involved in this kind of an activity, what the topic says. Thank you very much, and over to you, Dr. Feroz.
Thank you, David. I'm very happy that you remembered me and you have given the opportunity to share my experience, whatever I had, especially in the environmental side. So without wasting much time, so I just want to share my slides. I already share, I think, screen now. So let me share. Is it visible? My slides?
No.
No?
No. Yeah.
It's not coming. Yeah, it should come, right? Why it is not sharing entire screen? Now it is immediately getting to stop sharing. Why? What happened?
Surya sir, can you just check this? What is happening?
I'm trying to share, but it is stopping.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, that share button, there is two options are there. It's visible, no? One is window option and the other one is the whole screen option, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's click on that window option, sir.
Window option. Okay, yeah. So I can share this window, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
PPT, just to share, sir.
now it is coming. I already shared.
It's not coming, sir. It's not visible over here.
Because it is sharing option is getting into stop mode. Why? Because I'm clicking, I'm sharing, but again it is immediately coming back to stop mode. Can I see Control Shift? I'm sharing window. Window I'm
Yeah,
sharing.
yes.
I selected window and I'm sharing here. Is it visible? No.
No, sir. No, here it is not coming, sir.
So just I will do one. I will just log out and again I will enter. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
എന്താ സൂരജ് നമ്മുടെ പ്രോബ്ലം വല്ലതും ആണോ?
അല്ലെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു, sir. അല്ല.
Can you enable the share button?
One second, sir.
Yeah. So now it is not enabled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it is enabled. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let me check. Yeah, it is coming, right? Screen is sharing, right?
Yes, sir. Now it is okay. Now it is, yeah. Yeah, it is visible,
Now
sir.
it's okay, right?
Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me start. Yeah. Yeah. So my topic is on climate change and its environmental impact. So what is the outline which I designed here is just to give a little bit introduction on climate change, because most of the previous speakers might have talked a lot on climate change. So, and also greenhouse effects and global warming and all, little bit I just want to touch. Then we will move to the environmental impact assessment due to climate change. What are the mitigation measures that can be adapted for climate change? And what is this the climate change impact on Gulf countries and how the Gulf countries are handling it, and what are the different programs that has been adapted in Gulf countries. Specifically, I'm talking with respect to UAE, so which I had a lot of material, which they have done a lot of programs also. So if you talk about climate change, everyone knows it's a globally challenging aspect, and it is mainly due to the greenhouse gases that are impacting the mankind as well as the generations to come. So that's everyone knows that it is going to be a big, huge problem for the environment. And in general, it is nothing but the increase in the average global temperatures. So due to the presence of greenhouses, this terminology is almost even every student and every sensible person is sensing that. So how the climate is changing and how it is impacting, and what is the main factor of climate change. Now, how it is globally impacting is you can see there is a increase in the sea levels, changes in the precipitation as well as humidity patterns, increase in extreme weather events like flooding, droughts, and many things is happening. And there is a continuous changes in the climate conditions. All this together, we can consider it as a climate change. So you can define as a climate change. Now, this climate change is definitely disturbing the ecological balance in the world, and it is also a threat to the economic growth of any nation. So now you can see this, the global climate vulnerability, how it is affecting, especially you can, if you see this chart, the African countries and the Asian countries, including India and China, is mostly affecting, or is going to affect for the climate change aspects. So it doesn't mean that the other countries also is not exceptional. So almost all the countries are going to affect due to the changes in the climate. Maybe some countries are with a low impact, and some countries are with a very high impact. So you can see this is a very good chart that has been developed to show where is the high chances of effect and where is the low vulnerability. And you all this what is this global warming and global greenhouse effect and all those things? It's nowadays most of the people know about this concept. Just to touch this concept, it is nothing but the energy observed, heat energy, especially that is coming from the sun, and it passed through the ozone layers and different, and it strike to the earth, and the earth is reflect back to the environment, and most of the UV radiation is absorbed by the ozone layer, and then the reflector light will be having infrared quantity. So that IR, infrared spectrum light, that is the light which is absorbed by most of the what is called these gases, stray gases that are emitted from the different sources. So what are the sources? We know automobiles, industries, and general chemical industries, many industries. So this which are we can say the man-made activities that are generating this type of gases. So those gases are mostly carbon dioxide, which is the main important culprit, nitrous oxide, methane, and ozone, chlorofluorocarbons, water vapor. So all these gases that are trapped in the environment. So that gases are what is called absorbing the heat, and that observation is creating the annual increase in the temperature. So and that is in brief about the global effect, or we can call it as a global warming. So why the gas is called as a greenhouse gases? Because it resembles the glass, what is called a glass function in a greenhouse. So which absorbs the gases, which absorbs the heat and control the plant cultivation and all those things. So based on that, the name has given as a greenhouse gases. But basic thing is whatever the light that is coming from the sun, and it is absorbed by that and is reflected back. And here in the atmosphere, these gases, whatever the emissions of these gases, those gases absorb this heat, and then it keeps the earth continuously heating. So that is the general concept about global warming or greenhouse effect. And many people will talk about that, and maybe the previous speakers also might have touched that. Now, if you see here the greenhouse gases, which is main contributor for this global warming, is carbon dioxide. So you can see 65% from fossil fuel and industrial process, and around 11% due to deforestation and other activities. So overall, we can say 76% of the greenhouse gases comes from carbon dioxide, and it is the main culprit which traps the heat and then makes keep on increasing the temperatures. The remaining is methane, nitrous oxide, and all those things. Carbon dioxide is mostly, it is the byproduct of a combustion process. So any fuel that burns completely or partially, we are going to get the product carbon dioxide. Mostly if it is burned completely, because it gives carbon dioxide and water vapor as the products. So almost all the fossil fuels, because we are using fossil fuels for different activities, like even automobiles and then industries and anywhere for generating of steam. Almost everywhere we are using now. Gulf countries, you can say, a lot of every for even for desalination, for power generation, everything is they're burning huge amount of natural gas and oil. So that is generating a lot of emissions, which is especially the carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and little bit of methane and other gases. So this all these gases playing a big role in global warming. Methane is a gas which is having around 25% times more than the heat compared to CO2. Similarly, nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide produces 390 times more heat than the carbon dioxide. And also atmospheric ozone. So ozone is having a double effect. One, it absorbs the UV light that is coming from the sun, and it also absorbs the infrared light that is emitted back from the earth. So it is having a double effect. And also the another effect of ozone is depletion of ozone. So because of the fluorocarbons which reacts with the ozone, and it is creating holes, and it is also a big phenomena which leads to the first treaty that is coming to control the depletion of ozone. So we are going to see that in the later part of our discussion. And you can see here the who is the main culprits which are emitting a lot of what is called greenhouses. Here you can see China is around 23%, USA 19%, others 28%, complete European Union is around 13%. India is almost 6%. So this is the data which I have taken maybe from the sources. So it is keeps on changing because it is a dynamic process. Exact measurements, day-to-day measurements, and day-to-day release of data is not that much feasible. So maybe yearly wise, or maybe for 5 years or 6 the data is released. So you can see the countries how they are contributing to the global warming. So you can also see the chlorofluorocarbons that also plays a big role in the climate change, and increase in the global temperature that is creating the big problem due to this global warming. And individual countries, because countries are the one which are emitting the lot of greenhouse emissions, so greenhouse gas emissions. So that's why individual countries are responsible for both creating the problem for the environment, and also giving what is called solutions, or trying to bring down these climate change problems and all those things. So that we will see how they are addressing it in the later part of our discussion. Now you can see here global emissions in terms of the industrial sectors. So this global gases is mainly because of the energy sector. You can see 73%, around 74% is due to energy sector, because energy is utilizing in almost in all the areas which we required, especially in Gulf countries. AC, air conditioning, is a very important one during summers, almost 6 months to, or we can say 8 months. Maybe David also knows that 8 months is completely very hot here. And only 4 months we will feel little bit of winter, but winter also is now is extreme here. I didn't feel that much winter in Oman, but in here in Saudi Arabia, in this area, our temperatures is even going below 10 degrees. So especially during that 8 months of the summer, and in peak summers like August, July and all, there is extreme utilization of refrigeration systems, and because of that energy, and a lot of burning of fossil fuels is happening, and it is creating the major junk of the gases, CO2, and that is creating the global warming. The other sector is, we can say, agriculture and waste, industry and all. So industry is, we can consider even the desalination is also one of the area which is very important area, or a vital area in Gulf countries, because most of the water is generated through desalination plants. And desalination plants works on, again, the burning of the fossil fuels. Some works on natural gases and some works on oil, and some even works on coal-fired plants also. So like that, this energy sectors is contributing for the greenhouse gas emissions, and which in turn creating the global warming. So coming to the main topic, this the global warming introductory part is, everyone knows that. So how is this impacting the environment? So that is how, and how the environment it is impacting, what are the different policies or treaties that has been adapted to control this environmental impact. So you can see here the temperature, average global temperature increase about 8.8 degrees, 1.4 Fahrenheit over the past 100 years. So from the last 100 years, you can see that 0.8 degrees is increase in the temperature. Now, with the rate with which the CO2s are emitting, not only CO2, CO2 is a major one, and the other one is nitrous oxide, methane, and all those things. So there will be a rise of temperature expectation that from up to 5.3 degrees, from 1.5 to 5.3 degrees can be increased by 2100 duration. So if the actions are not taken properly by the country at each country level, or even in the country at each state level, or each at industries level, anyhow, the policies are designed at the country level and at the global level. According to that, it comes down from top to down, and each policy is how we have to maintain everything. So if they are not maintained it properly, and there is no proactive actions, then there will be a big danger for the uh, environment. And also, we are seeing a lot of ice melting in Greenland and Antarctica, and which is creating a lot of problems of flooding and all those things. So that is also because of global warming. Now you can see here the projections which is made by the scientists. So up to from 1800 to 2000, the rise in the temperature levels are very small. From 2000, maybe 2020 and all, there is abnormal rise in the temperature. If that level is maintained without control of the greenhouse gases, or without control of the emissions and all those things, so we some microphone is on. Can you? Is it okay? Yeah. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No, sir, it is okay. Right now it is okay.
Yeah. So the rise in the temperature level you can see is from 2000 to 20. We can see here. So there is a little bit of increase in the slope. If the same level is maintained without controlling the greenhouse gas emissions, so it is predicted that there will be a abnormal rise. If it is high projection, it will be like this. If it is a low projection, it will be like this. So that means, as we say, they are already predicting that around up to 5 degrees of temperature will rise, and that will really is a major problem for the mankind to survive this, or even whatever you can say, animals, human life is very difficult to survive. Now this is about the, and we can say that is what 3 to 7 degrees increase will expectation, and some people they are saying that around 5.3 it will be increasing. Now this from the last prediction of even in the increase in the sea levels, maybe 1 to 8 feet it can increase in the sea level water around 2100, and in a century the increase in the sea level in last century we can say is almost 18 centimeters has been increased. The other major impact on the seawater is the acidification, because the CO2 dissolves in the water and then it forms the carboxylic acids. The pH will come down, and it will, the more and more water will become more acidification. So when it is becoming more and more acidification, then it will be a big problem for the marine environments, especially the plants and the corals. We can say seashells, coral reefs, many marine environment, what is called organisms are surviving in the sea. both plant and animals. So it will create a major impact due to the decrease in the pH of the water. And the global warming is a water weather phenomena is very huge. So you can see recently we have also observed these Los Angeles fires happening, and there is a continuous fires happening in Australia, in US, which is sometimes it's unbearable even to control. Huge losses is happening, and Los Angeles is too much loss. Maybe they are saying 200 billion money has been lost during these fires. So all this is sometimes because of the man-made mistakes, and sometimes because of this the climatic changes and all those things. So precipitation is also one big issue that which is creating the droughts and more natural disasters like floods, hurricane storms, and all those things is happening. So this is another important aspect. And you can see that as we already told, the climate change disturbs the ecosystem, and it is modifying the life cycles, especially the plant production life cycles, because earlier the plants completely grows from the seeding to just I'm giving the example. I'm not the expert in agriculture. So from seeding to the complete growth of the plant, maybe it will take 4 months or 5 months or whatever might be. But now it is changing. So it may, depending upon the conditions, if it's a drought, it may even kill the plants also. So like that, even the human life cycles also it is changing because of many indirect effects. Because the droughts creates or high temperatures, low temperatures creates the variations in the plant productions, vegetable productions, and animals the habits. Dry conditions make the animals to drink less water. All those things create changes in their systems, and when we are consuming that, our body systems also will get changed. So this is how one effect is creating a multiple effects on the human life. So that is what here is. In some of the endemic means good species are getting vanished, and some harmful species like invasive species, they are which are threatening to crops and all, they are getting more growth in that species. So like that, it is creating a big ecological imbalances, and it is creating a big environmental impact. And also it is creating shaking up, you can say, social, health, and geopolitical balances in the world. So many wars is happening because of oil, war is happening, energy because of wars are happening, minerals because of minerals, the wars are happening. And the social cultural is also changing from country to country because dry countries becoming wet, green countries becoming dry. Many things is happening here. So because of that, the social culture is also changing, because the people who are using complete cover up of the dresses and all those things, now they have to if the temperature is rising, they cannot use all those dresses. They have to use the normal type of dresses which can withstand to the rise in the temperature. So this is what mean changing in the social, and also health issues. Health issues, as we know, the more the microorganisms, the bad organisms grows, the more health issues will come. So indirectly, it is affecting our many issues in the what is called environment, social health. Scarcity of resources. So when we are becoming more and more dry and all those things, the resources will become very scarce. So when the resources become scarce, the food and energy will become less and less. And some countries, in African countries, most of the African countries, they are struggling for the food. We are very lucky, Indians and these Gulf countries, people are very lucky. We are still having a very luxurious life and all those things. But some of the countries, especially the African countries, Eastern African countries, they are struggling for foods and all those things because of the indirect impact. And as I told, one impact leads to another impact. The wars also is one of the major impact which is happening. That is also somewhere something it is connected to the climate change. And we already I told the rise in the sea levels and the what is called the flooding systems, all those things creates a migration of the population, and population migrates. Again, the environmental changes. So according to the conditions that prevails there. And we can see here the estimated number of climate refugees, because only because of climate change, cold becoming hot, hot becoming cold, almost 250 million people can be shift from one place to another place by 2050. And also this more we will see this is affecting a lot in India also, desert locusts, especially in Rajasthan and all. So it is causing a big problem for crops. And then why they are shifting from other countries, it is coming to our country, means because of the climate change. Maybe that species maybe feel very hot or very cold, and which they cannot survive, so they try to shift. When they try to shift, they can come to other places and they will create a problem to even the good areas. And also climate cost, since the climate change cost by 21st century, that means the amount of money that has been lost because of climate changes is around 5% to 20% of global GDP. So it's a huge amount. So it's not a very small amount. And people are even spending around 1% of GDP just to avoid the or to take the steps to mitigate the climate changes that are happening. So as if we have more dangerous impacts of climate change, and it is going to people just are predicting it, but that there is going to be a very big problems and all those things, unless if it is not controlled. But the ultimate thing is how it is going to create the problems. It is creating a global inequalities. It is creating a big problem for economic development and all those things. So whatever you take, floods, fires, wars, migration of population, migration of the animals, migration of the birds, and green countries becoming dry countries becoming green countries, and all those things is indirectly or directly related to the climate change. So no individual can fix this. So it has to be fixed by a collective responsibility. All has to involve. Almost all the populations has to involve, and all countries has to be involved. No single agency or government or a scientist can fix this climate change problems. And the more what is called the most important thing is exploitation of the nature, that has to be uh, reduced, or it has to be what is called, it has to stop. Like if you take UAE or any other, even in Saudi Arabia also, if you take, because of the land restriction, they are developing the new cities by putting artificial sand, and also by creating an artificial land in the sea. So when you create an artificial land in the sea and put a lot of structures and all those things, that means we are disturbing the nature, we are exploiting the nature, and it will create a impact on the climate and the environment. But we cannot avoid, people cannot avoid it, because there will be a continuous development of technology, there is a continuous development of urbanization, and there is a continuous development of a more modern world. Everyone wants to use the cars, their own cars, and no one wants to share the cars and all. This is the more we are becoming more and more luxurious, and more urbanization, and more modernization. At the other end, it is creating a big problem on the environment. So that is why some people, we have to think, and we have to reduce the exploitation of nature. And this is what I said, what are the global responses that are being taken care to mitigate this or to control this climate change effect. So actually, the problem of thinking about the climate change and what are the steps that can be taken to reduce the climate change, it is started in earlier 1990s. Before that, in 1987, and which is we call the Montreal Protocol. So this is the first protocol which has created a pathway for the other protocols that are coming up in globally, that came up globally. So this Montreal Protocol is related to the ozone, because they observed that ozone layer is getting depleted because of chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons react with the ozone and it creates the holes, and because of that, the more UV light is coming directly from the sun to the earth, because UV light is very dangerous. So to avoid that, they come up with a treaty, the ratified treaty, and they think about how to reduce the chlorofluorocarbons, and that treaty is called the Montreal Protocol Treaty. And this treaty is indirectly the starting point for the climate change treaties. So even though they targeted for ozone, but later this act as a what is called the stepping stone for the other treaties that are evolved. And you can see with this with Montreal Protocol and without Montreal Protocol how the changes is happening. These are all the figures I have taken from this from Google only. So there's new, not new, and informations, everything, pictures, all are available. If you want, I can share these slides so you people can go through that. So this protocol, that Montreal Protocol, is almost 99% successful in eliminating the ozone depleting substances. Then there is an amendment also happened. It is called a Kegley Amendment in 2016. So to reduce the production of hydrofluorocarbons, which are the powerful greenhouse gases that time, and which contribute to climate change. So almost all, even India also, I see in Hyderabad, there is a one when I am working, when I am studying as my master student, there is a one industry where I attended for interview also. So in that industry is used to produce hydrofluorocarbons in Hyderabad. And after maybe I think very after 1 or 2 years, that industry was closed. And so India also stopped production of hydrofluorocarbons, and many countries stopped the hydrofluorocarbons, because the hydrofluorocarbons is especially used in refrigeration system, and they developed other researchers developed new refrigerants which are environmental friendly and all those things. So then the another framework that came here is the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. This is the first one, which in 1992, actually it is ratified by 197 countries. So which including United States. So that they propose that there should be a yearly wise meeting to discuss on climate change. So which they call it as a conference of parties, which nowadays all the, if you see any conference regarding climate change, they will put this word COP 27, 26 like that. So COP means conference of parties, which they discuss about on the climate change issues. So the first one that is started is in 1992, and that is mostly they want to stabilize the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. How can we stabilize? Means just cut down the utilization of fossil fuels little bit. We cannot eradicate completely. So how to use renewable energies, many things people might have discussed many things, and this is the starting point. Then comes the Kyoto Protocol in Japan. The Kyoto Protocol, what they started drafting it in 1997, and it is ratified in 2005. US also has signed that Kyoto Protocol, and then they didn't accept that and they withdraw their signature. So what is that Kyoto Protocol states? That is 5% of greenhouse gases can be reduced compared to the 1990s stage. During 1990s stage, whatever the greenhouse gases are emitting, so with respect to that, we have to reduce by 5%. But as we know, there will be a political issues, and then modernization, usage of new coming up of new industries and all those things, economic issues and all. So countries didn't take it that much successfully, especially USA. If USA is not taking in a in a right direction, is generally it will slow down. The treaties will fail. And again, this Kyoto Protocol in Qatar, there is an amendment happened in 2012. From 5%, they want to reduce to 18%. So by 2020, here 5% by 2012 and 18% by 2020. So, but this has not happened. So this is and this treaty is we can say it is very unsuccessful, because the problem is it is talking about carbon production, to reduce the carbon production, but not it is talking about carbon consumption, because each day by day, new cars, new houses, new buildings, everything is coming up. So people are becoming more and more what is called urbanization. The consumption of the carbon is increasing. So we are putting many industries, many desalination plants, many energy industries to create employment and many things which is related, even for to produce good water and all. So it is keep on increasing, means the carbon consumption is increasing. When carbon consumption is increasing, the emission will increase. But this Kyoto Protocol not stating anything about this consumption, but only they want to reduce 5% by this much year and reduce by 18% by this much year, which is a not feasible. So that's why the treaty has become a failure. And then in 2015, the new treaty came. The treaty is we call it as the Paris Agreement Treaty. So that is the most updated up till date, the climate control treaty, we can call it as. There they formed a national determined contributions. And here the main objective is to control the rise in the temperature. So they preventing the global average temperature from rising by 2 degrees and above the and also pursuing efforts to keep it below 1.5 degrees. So this is the main criteria which they have been targeting. Until now, it has become the main criteria to maintain the rise in the temperature, not below 1.5 degree. How far it will be successful? Again, it depends upon how individual countries are drafting their policies and taking the actions and all those things. At the end, I will give what are the UAE is doing that by keeping this concept, this treaty in mind. And Paris Agreement is notably successful compared to the Kyoto Protocol, because it encouraged the countries like Japan, China, and EU to set the carbon neutrality goals and also net zero targets. So the emissions as much as possible to make it into zero. Yeah, so which is very, very difficult, but by shifting to renewable energies, by shifting to electric cars, by shifting to what is called the avoiding the migration of the people and all those things, many things, if they try to set out the policies, then it can be achievable. So that is what people are doing now, means country wise. That's what people they are saying, that Paris Agreement is a little bit more successful compared to Kyoto, because it is aiming for net zero emissions, and also we call it as a climate neutral or carbon neutral. Carbon credits buying and transferring, that concept also has came up. This is also a little bit people are utilizing it, but it generally it came from the Kyoto Protocol, and that's also happening. So many things people are adapting it and are trying to reduce the global emissions. Ultimate aim is to reduce the what is called the greenhouse gases, and by 2050 every country wants to make it as a net zero emissions. So the people also targeted like this. So by 2050 it is net zero. By 2020 it is 33% can reduce. Slowly it can reduce and it will make to zero. So this is the target of every country now. Almost every country wants to make net zero emissions, which is related to the Paris Agreement. So that is how that is happening. Yeah. Now, what are the possible mitigation measures? So we have seen the treaties, and the people are globally every year they are having a conferences. They are discussing about the treaties, how to reduce, blah this policy we have to take this. But in nutshell, what are the different ways where we can adapt to reduce the global gases, or we can call as greenhouse gases? The major one is the renewable energy, shifting from fossil fuel to renewable energies. So this is happening at a very, very faster rate. So most of the technologies, even desalination technology, energy production technology, cars, refrigeration systems, house refrigeration, cooling, heating, industrial refrigeration, cooling, even in now just in our campus here, they are putting up on 10 kilowatt solar panels on our cafeteria. Still the work is going on. So like this, the country at the globe at their level for the major industries and all those things, and they are also asking the institutions, small industries, to adapt this type of greenhouse activities, especially shifting to PV panel energy generation and using the wind power generation, hydropower generation. So many things they are targeting. Here our Saudi Arabia is by 2030, their target is to, I think, 15%, 10 to 15% shift into renewable energy. Recently, I visited the largest plant in solar power plant in Saudi Arabia, the largest, which is generating around 750 megawatt of power. So like that, we have 3, 4 plants here. So they are slowly shifting it, but they cannot completely shift from fossil fuel. But they are shifting. And also energy and water efficiencies. So we are wherever possible, we have to try to reduce energy consumption, efficient way, like LED bulbs, and then many other ways are there which we can use, adapt so that the energy can be optimized. Similarly, water efficiency, especially we Indians and also I can say mostly Indians, we will waste a lot of water in homes and all those things. And at one areas there will be a fighting for waters. In other areas, the people are simply wasting the waters. So I have seen both areas. When one of the area where I stayed during my master studies, and then I saw the people are fighting for early morning 3 o'clock. They are fighting for water. And the other, in our houses and all those things, we waste a lot of water. So optimization utilization of water, and that is also a very, very important factor because it is related to, again, indirectly or directly related to the climate change. Sustainable transportation. This is what we are saying. Most Chinese are very good. I visited Chinese recently twice in the last year, so I have seen that. And earlier also I visited Japan also to see how they are very conscious. So Chinese is a bigger populated country. Almost India is overtaken. But if you go and see their cities, they are well planned. They have the what is called nature consciousness, how to maintain. They don't throw the test, or they don't waste the things, and wherever possible, they are using renewable energy concepts and all those things. So we also have to. This is our responsibility. In the institutions, education institutions, it is our responsibility to make our students aware about what is the future generations is going to happen. So their future, how it will be impact. So especially the faculty's responsibility. Here also I will frankly teach to the students how we have to do, how these things, and how we can utilize. But some students listen, some students they don't listen, like carpooling, the electric cars and cars. So because each one will bring with car, we are facing a big problem here because of car parking. Each student will bring, and if you are 10,000 students are there, if they bring 10,000 cars, so it's very, very difficult situation. So if you pull the car, then it is good. Public usage of public transportation. In Saudi Arabia, they have introduced very good public transportation now, and with a cheaper rate. Similarly, Qatar, they have introduced very good public transportation, and even China. So public transportation in a proper way, in a very neat way, in a proper way, with a proper control way of the emissions. In the you can see here in Gulf countries, in no car you will see will having a black smoke. It's impossible. Almost very few cars will be having black smoke. But in India, we see almost many cars. We all auto rickshaws and the lorry, every car, trucks, everything is having black smokes. But here it is not there. So this is the difference. We have to make sure we have to bring the policies so that the emissions can be reduced. Sustainable infrastructure, passive cooling, passive heating, using renewable energies to make the buildings in a very private. Denmark, if you see in Denmark, the university itself is a design and developed which will be having passive cooling effects. So I visited in Germany one house. It is they have a system in the house itself where they can use both cooling and heating during the different seasons. Same like our thermodynamic cycles they will use to just switch, change from one mode to another mode, so they can heat and cooling, reverse the thermodynamic cycles and all those things. So this type of concepts is still not coming in India, but in Western countries, in Australia I have seen, in Germany I have seen, even here also we are seeing here, there is a lot of the changes are happening to control the greenhouse emissions. Agriculture, sustainable agriculture, forest management, this is the biggest problem in India also. Many, we are cutting down the trees. You can see just the example of Bangalore city. When we are studying, school, because my Tirupati, I studied in Tirupati school, everything, which is near to Bangalore. Every now and then we will visit Bangalore. So during that time, maybe in 1980s, it is a completely green city. Almost 99% of the city is green, Bangalore city. Now, if you see, it's 99% is what is called concrete city. It's already studied by the environmental scientist. So this is the major problem. So we are not putting the trees properly. We are not making it green environment. So all these are creating a lot of issues. And consumption and recycling concept is also very poor in India, whereas in our Western countries, China also is having very good recycling concept. All the things they try to recycle as much as possible. So these are some of the mitigation issues which we can adapt to reduce the climate change, what is called effect. And how it is impacting the Gulf countries? Water is one of the biggest problem. In some of the areas is still having a problem for water. Dry water in the Gulf countries, you can see is the most dry region because it's a desert area. So if you see only city, it looks like the developed city. But if you just move out of city, it's completely desert. So from you can say here from Dammam city to Riyadh city, 400 kilometers. So we will frequently drive. Once you pass the city completely, it is a desert only till we reach the border of the next Riyadh city like that. So Gulf region may face a problem of reduction in water, 50% because of the climate change. So this is why they are taking a lot of steps, and also rise in the sea levels. We are using a frequent floods, which is not happening earlier. Now we are having a frequent floods in cities like Jeddah and all those things. Again, that is the reason because of the climate change, and there are going to be more problem by 2050 if it is not controlled. So the Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change, these are the intergovernmental panel is there, which we call it as IPCC. These people are the one who are estimating what are going to be happen, projections, like I shown the graph also, how it can be projected, rise in the temperature, and how the Gulf countries can be affected with if it is less water in some areas, with rising sea levels, the cities which are near to the coastal areas, maybe there will be a increase in the levels, and they are expecting around 1200 square kilometers can be submerged throughout the Gulf countries. These are all the estimations. Maybe it will happen or may not be, it will happen. It all depends upon the actions what they are going to take. Similarly, heat waves, there will be extreme heat waves will be there, and expected to rise 4 degrees temperature by 2050. Again, these are all expectations, predictions. Desertification is even though desert is still the desertification happening in the desert areas also, whatever the plants which are surviving with the desert environment, those plants also are getting dry because of the variation in the temperatures. And this is a big problem in Gulf countries, sandstorms and desert. This is a continuous problem. Even when you are driving, frequently, even in our cities here, you will get these sandstorms and dust. Our university and our campus is in the desert. It has built in the desert here. So frequently we will feel the sand storms here. And spread of infectious disease. This is also a big problem because some microorganisms survive in high temperature, means in dry temperatures. So it can spread. Similarly, food spoilages will also happen. Most of the foods get spoiled because of increase in the temperatures. Air quality is getting a big problem. If you see every year in Delhi, I'm seeing the news and everything. Now everyone observes what is happening in other parts of the world. Even we are sitting here where we used to have curiosity to see what is happening in Delhi and all. So there's a big problem of this what is called temperature changes, air quality. Particulate matter is too much in this Delhi city. You all know that. And then cost of inaction. Suppose if we are not taking any action, so there will be a huge cost which the countries has to bear. So economic may loss GDP from 0.4 to 1.3%, especially in Gulf. I'm talking about here the Gulf countries. So water risks cost that will be around $27 billion GDP. There will be loss if it is not taken care. Food supply highly problematic in supply chain things. So again, due to climate changes, built environment, so there will be $834 millions per year can be required for the cooling rises because to maintain the refrigeration systems and all. So these are all little bit data which I have taken from the different sources, how it will going to impact in an economic way for the Gulf countries. Now coming to the last what is called the last area which I want to discuss, that is how the UAE is doing. United Arab Emirates, the same Saudi Arabia also is doing it, but I didn't took the Saudi Arabia. I took the example of UAE. So they are targeting based on the Paris Climate Protocol treaty, and their aim is to make the net zero by 2050, and they are developed a lot of programs. So which is a Sharm el Sheikh adoption agenda. So how food and agriculture systems can be controlled. There is a policies they have designed, and similarly water and natural systems, how it can be controlled. Control means how it can be, reduce the emissions, and how it can be sustained we can use renewable energy, whatever mitigation factors which I have explained, how it can be embedded here. Renewable energy, then the natural what is called passive cooling, heating, many things like land production, avoiding the trees wherever possible. They are putting the plantation. Here, almost all now olden days type of desert imagination is gone. Gulf countries, Muscat, if you see, maybe David knows, Muscat, you see, beautiful landscapes will be there throughout the highway. And beautiful plants, everything is been adapted in Muscat. Beautiful green parks, same here also. But compared to Oman, here it is a little bit less. Oman is very greenery. Similarly, UAE also they are adapting too much greenery and all those things. And water systems, how to control. Similarly, design of houses. So here also they will make proper designs, paintings, which can be uniform. Light paints they will use so that the absorption will be less, like that. Many things we have early warning systems, social infrastructure. All this has been they are adapting here in a perfect way. India also it is done, but implementation is the problem in India. Here implementation is good. If the government release a policy means everyone has to follow that. There is no other way here. Similarly, the coastal and ocean systems, infrastructure system, clean cooking, battery storage, mobility, in all our houses, we are not using the gas stoves here. We are using the complete electrical stoves. And however, electrical again, the power is coming from burning of fossil fuels, but some of the power plants, big power plants, they are changing to the solar, concentrated solar power. They are using renew the polar power PV panels systems they are using for the power generation. Planning, financing, everything is perfectly they are doing it in UAE and also in Oman and also here in Saudi. Some of the UAE initiatives you can see here, they are they planted almost 25 million mangrove seedlings and aiming to produce 10 million trees by 2030. So if they are going to done, there is no other way. They are going to do that. This means lot of greenery. The UAE will feel lot of greenery and lot of, as you know, plant absorbs the carbon dioxide and it will use oxygen, right? Photosynthesis process. So more the plants, the reduction in the CO2 emissions in the environment. Even hybrid desalination plants, they are putting it. They are not, if some plants, new plants, they are putting completely on renewable energy. Some plants, they are using hybrid. Some part is the energy generation from fossil fuels and some part is the energy generation from the power plants. And they have a huge area, land, the desert area, so they can plant huge solar farms and all. So all this they are adapting here in almost in all the Gulf countries. Desert also they are making it green. If you travel in the highway deserts here, this side and that side completely sand will be there, but still they are putting plants there, green plants to maintain this carbon neutrality. So that is what is beautifully doing here in this country in the Gulf countries. And committed, UAE is committed almost $50 billion to reach the net zero emission by 2050. And that action within the 10 years they are adapting. And they started from 1989 by following all AICTE protocol, Paris protocol, and blah, 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 and all those things. And they are, in 2022, they have kept a strict target that there should be a net zero emission by 2050. So strategies what they are using, many of them points I already discussed. They want to go for a clean and renewable energy sources. Use friendly raw materials because we are from chemical engineering background. So I think most of the students here are chemical engineering background who are listening my talk. We have to look into all those things. So new product, new process developments, new products using environmental friendly raw materials. So wherever possible. So that is what we have to look. And also reduce the waste generation. This also we have to carefully adapt in our industry, in your home, in your campus, wherever possible, and also expand the waste treatment. Reuse and recycling is the RRR3, reuse, recycling, and reclamation are this R is a very important factor. And green mobility, especially the urban development, should be more and more green. That's what I am saying. I was really sad when I see the Bangalore city now compared to the Bangalore city when I was in my childhood. So in childhood, we went to Bangalore city as a school excursion. It is a greenery and we used to feel very cold. Maybe the temperature is below 20 even during the June time. But now the temperatures is almost very high. And problem is complete urbanization without any green planning. Intensify energy efficiency in all sectors. They are planning it everywhere. They are trying to make the energy efficiency. Different things, even in our chemical industries, we can do the energy integrations and different, wherever possible, try to extract the energy and use it in other areas like that. This is also they are targeting, that is research and development in direct air capture, so that to reduce the pollutants and also carbon capture utilization. This area is one of the biggest area of research in almost all parts of the world, including Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, there is an Aramco plant, which is the American plant, which has established long back, 30 or 40 years back in this area where we are staying. So that Aramco is doing a lot of R&D, and they are doing too much R&D, means putting a lot of money in R&D through universities, as well as they have their own R&D sections and all in different areas. So one of the area is this one, CCCU. and they are putting a lot of area on the technology development in renewable energy sites to power generation, for water desalination. There is a scientific green park developed. In that green park, all these R&D things are going on here. So like that, many things is happening. Most of the things maybe people are not aware of that. And the UAE National Dialogue, that's what NDC, which is adapted in Paris Agreement Protocol. So that based on that, this National Dialogue Climate Ambition Team, or or what is called a sector, has been formed in UAE with some key objectives defined, and expected outcomes, deliverables. Like UAE climate ambition is their key objective, and their priority sectors also they made, like cement, energy, mobility, all in all these sectors, how we can use the renewable energies and environmental friendly raw materials, how to minimize the waste and all those things. Expected outcomes, we can see the climate sustainability outlook, and then innovation, how to improve identify the technology and innovation to be adapted, and then main sectors that can be which creating a problem to the climate, those sectors should be targeted. Like that, they have clean policies, everything, and they are implementing it. And as I told, once it is government is set the policy and they want to implement it, they will implement. Here all the CEOs, all the managers, all the presidents of the institutes, everyone has to follow the policies. There is no other way, no choice for them, we can say. So this is how the private sector in the UAE. In Indian private sector, they don't even bother. So that's a big problem. But in UAE, all the private sectors, even in Oman, also private sectors, they have made a pledge. So they made a pledge that these are the things they will adapt, like they will monitor and measure the greenhouse emissions in their plant, to achieve the net zero target by 2050. Climate change mitigations measures they will implement as a core principles of their business and operational models. Earlier, only profit. Now, here they have to implement these sustainability factors also, environmental impact factors, the climate factors, and all those things. But in India, who is bothering? Big, even big, what is called players. They don't bother. They don't bother about all these things. They only bother about profit. And also encouraging stakeholders to follow the method, the procedures, the methods what they are adapting in industry, so that they can achieve the targets. And also, this is very important, empowering the youth, especially for to make it environmental conscious. You know, Saudi Arabia, I came here in 2020. In the last 5 years, I'm seeing a big change in many aspects. One of the main important aspect is empowering the girls. Everywhere they are giving full importance. Government itself is saying that you have to give importance to the girls in employment, in studies. It starts with just giving the what you call it as the driving for the women. From there, it's changed. Now you won't see any expats in shopping malls, in banking system, in administrative system. They are all are so the girls are doing it, and they are doing it very perfect. I see very happy. Even my students, if you compare, the girl students are very good compared to boys, and they have all the willpower to change, to adapt, to compete. Everything is happening. So in our areas, I'm talking about where I don't know about how David is handling there in your departments and all. In our department, where I last almost 25 years back when I am teaching, that time itself I am seeing the students are becoming more and more lazy, more not concentrating on environmental conscious issues and all those things. Here, it is completely becoming opposite. And more they are becoming environment conscious. This is the things. That's what it maybe we can say indirectly. due to climate change, the green becoming dry, dry becoming green. So even the cultures becoming different like that. So this is my total presentation. Brief lecture which I prepared from different sources. So that's why I don't put even the references and all. It's everything is open source. It is available in nets and some papers and all those things. I just spent last 3-4 days to prepare some impact, and some of the information I already have from my research projects, my lectures and all those things. So thank you very much for listening it. If you want anything to know from me, I'm open. So I can share these slides to the mail which I received, PDF file, so people can use it also. No issues, no problem. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we can open for a question answer session. For the attention of all the participants, if there are any doubts or questions, you're free to communicate with sir. You can use the chat box or unmute yourselves to ask the questions.
Let me see the chat box here. The chat box is here. Yeah. If anything is there, I can explain. So nothing is there in chat box. If you ask, no problem. Why you have to feel here? The students are more proactive, and especially you can see the girl students here ask many things. Chemical engineering also just we have started here. Earlier, that's why I'm in both mechanical and chemical. So it's very good. So while you people have to ask, yeah.
Sir, here the participants are faculties from different colleges all over India, sir.
Oh, so it's all from, I thought most of them are from your department students. Sorry. Huh?
No, sir. It's faculties from different colleges all over India.
Okay, then no problem. That's good. Yeah. Sorry for that.
Yeah,
I
no
thought
problem,
I
sir.
said
Yeah.
students. Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir. Sir, I have one question, sir. Sir, I have one question. Sir, what are the challenges that is actually used in aligning this environmental impact assessment process with respect to the long-term climate goals?
The challenges is the adoption of the people for the policies that is designed by the government. So what are the government has to design good policies, and that policies has to be adapted by almost all the sectors from top to bottom. As I told here, if the policies adopted by the government means it is make it open and their portals, and it is sent to all the top executives in almost in all the sectors, and it has to be adopted. There is no other way. But in India also we have very Minister of Environment, Minister of what is called pollution control, many things, and pollution control boards. Everything are there. There is a good policies are there. Even those policies people will copy also. But implementation is the big process, this challenging aspect. So generally, implementation is not happening from the top to bottom, and also if you talk about the educational sector, we have to give a proper at least what is called guidance or a proper knowledge, social knowledge, environmental knowledge to the students, so that they can try to adapt it slowly. And because they are the future, right? They're the future generation, they have to take care. And also in industries, private industries, especially, we are not happy with the private industries, and that private industries are not at all adapting it in India. That is a big challenging. Urbanization is also a big challenging factor. One example I already seen, my live examples I have told regarding Bangalore city. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
These are some of the challenges. Yeah. Many are there. And just whatever I know, I told.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I am having one question, and
Yes.
before that, thank you for your nice presentation. And you were mentioning in your slide that disappearance of aquatic species due to this climate change process. And you may be knowing that the Western Ghat area in Kerala, that harboring a lot of endemic fish species. And is there any information you are having related to that? Any fish species disappear due to this climate change happen like that? Any information are you having, sir?
No, I didn't collect any information particular to the Western Ghats area. So it's general information only I have collected. It is this mostly this disappearing of many. Even we are seeing in many what is called the news that there is a lot of animals, tigers, lions are disappearing, elephants are disappearing, and similarly birds are disappearing. These are all the news which we are seeing, right? So the general information only I have gathered. Particular to that specialized area, specific area, no, I don't have any information.
And moreover, that it is a biological hotspot in the globe. So it's a very important area in which a lot of endemic species are available in that particular area. It's mostly valuable species. And so that information.
That's why I put only a general way, endemic and invasive species. So, and most of the endemic species are disappearing. And maybe you have better what is called the information because you are in that maybe in nearby area. So you may be having better information. So I will check, no problem. Maybe it will be good for me to know the information. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anything required? Or you can contact me also. My contact details is there in the front in the first slide. So I can put a PDF file I can forward to David and you can collect. I should have asked who are the audience at the beginning. I thought it is a chemical engineering department is organizing. So I thought most of them are students. Okay, because you people didn't
open it's a faculty development program, sir. Faculty development program.
AICTE, right?
Okay. AICTE is sponsoring this. Yeah.
Okay. I misunderstood. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem, sir. No.
Anything? If not, I'm just waiting for this only for this lecture because Thursday is our week, Friday and Saturday our weekend. So Thursday mostly afternoon we don't have much classes.
So seems like we don't have any more questions, and there are no questions in the chat box also. We'll move to the conclusion of this session. I kindly welcome Dr. Suraj C. Rajan to deliver a small word of thanks.
Yeah, on behalf of Department of Chemical Engineering, Amal College of Engineering, I am honored to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Firoz Sheikh, for gracing us with their presence and sharing their valuable insight today. Your enlightening presentation on environment impact assessment, climate change has provided us with a wealth of knowledge and fresh perspectives. Your expertise and passion for the subject have truly inspired us and will undoubtedly enhance our teaching practices and professional grants. Also covered the topics detailed to environment impact assessment and discussed about the different frameworks. I hope that all the participants received a better insight about the environmental impact assessment and its effect on climate change. And with a token of gratitude, Department of Chemical Engineering, Amal College of Engineering, sharing a virtual memento to you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable session.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Professor David. He's my friend almost 20 years, I think so. And we are in touch and we are working together. And because he invited me, I said yes. So very nice man, nice friend. And thank you very much. And thank you to all the organizers and the participants. So see you inshallah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.